Each story comes from people who swear these experiences are real, and they all share one terrifying theme. Someone was watching them while they slept. I was 22 when this happened. I was driving cross-country to visit a friend, and one night I stopped at a rundown roadside motel. It was one of those cheap single-floor motels where the doors all faced the parking lot. The room smelled like mildew, and the carpet had stains I didn't want to think about. But I was exhausted, so I set my bag down and got into bed without much thought. I remember waking up sometime around 2 a.m. to the sound of tapping. At first, I thought it was part of a dream. Then I heard it again. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up slowly and looked toward the only window in the room. The curtains were thin, and I could clearly make out the silhouette of a head, just standing there, inches away, facing inside. I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I thought the person outside might hear it. I whispered to myself, "Don't move, don't move." The tapping started again, this time faster, like whoever it was trying to get my attention. Then, a voice whispered through the glass, "I can see you." I almost screamed. I scrambled to grab my phone, but realized I had left it charging on the nightstand, right near the window. I didn't want to get closer. So instead, I bolted out of bed, ran straight to the door, and threw it open. The parking lot was dead silent, empty. But when I turned back to the window, the silhouette was gone. I checked out of that motel within minutes without even asking for a refund. To this day, I wonder what would have happened if I had stayed in that bed and pretended to sleep. This happened when I was 15. I was sleeping over at my friend Mia's house. Her parents were out of town, so it was just the two of us. We set up sleeping bags in her living room, stayed up late watching movies, and eventually passed out. Sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange feeling, like I wasn't alone. At first, I thought it was Mia, but when I looked over, she was sound asleep. That's when I noticed something in the corner of the room. A dark shape crouched low. My first thought was that it was a pile of blankets, but then it shifted. I could see the faint outline of a person. They were squatting, just watching. My breath caught in my throat. I wanted to wake Mia, but I was too scared to move or make a sound. I just lay there, frozen, staring back at this shadowy figure. After what felt like forever, I shut my eyes tight, pretending to be asleep. My heart was racing, but I didn't hear anything move. When the morning came, I convinced myself it was just my imagination. But as we got up, Mia asked something that made my stomach drop. She said, "Why did you get up last night? I thought you were going to the bathroom, but then I saw you standing in the corner just staring. I hadn't moved all night." This story is from when I lived alone in a small apartment. It was summer, and I often slept with my bedroom door cracked open because the place got so hot. One night, around 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of my door slowly creaking wider. I thought maybe it was the air conditioning draft, but then I realized I didn't even have AC. I sat up in bed, and in the faint glow from the streetlight outside, I saw a figure standing in my doorway. It was tall, motionless, just there. I couldn't see their face, but I knew someone was in my apartment. My chest felt like it was caving in. I wanted to grab my phone, but it was right next to the door, on my dresser, too close to whoever was standing there. I whispered, "Hello?" The figure didn't move, didn't respond.
I reached for the lamp beside my bed, turned it on, and the doorway was empty. I was shaking so badly I barely slept the rest of the night.
The next morning, I noticed something that made me sick to my stomach. Muddy footprints on the floor, leading from the front door right into my bedroom. But no footprints were leading out. A few years ago, I was in the hospital recovering from surgery. I was in a shared room, but my roommate was discharged late in the evening, so I spent the night alone. Hospitals are creepy enough, but around 1 a.m., I woke up and immediately felt off. Someone was sitting in the chair next to my bed. I thought it was a nurse, but when my eyes adjusted, I realized it was a man. He wasn't in scrubs, just regular clothes. He was sitting perfectly still, staring at me. I croaked out, "Who are you?" But he didn't answer. He just kept watching. I reached for the call button, but when I pressed it and looked back, the chair was empty. The nurse came in moments later, and I asked if someone had been in my room. She said no, she hadn't seen anyone. I tried to convince myself it was the pain meds until the next morning. A different nurse came in to check my vitals, and as she was adjusting my IV, she froze. She asked, "Why is that chair facing your bed? We never leave it like that." I hadn't touched the chair. And that's it for tonight's video. 4 creepy true stories about strangers watching you sleep. Each of these people swears their experience was real. And honestly, there's something especially terrifying about the idea of being watched when you're most vulnerable. Which story scared you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true horror stories.